Hi, this is Audacia Ray of Live Girl Review. Today I'm reviewing a documentary called Liberty and Restraint. And this is an Australian film. It's a feature, 90 minutes long, that is about the photography and behind-the-scenes action of Noel Graydon. Noel Graydon sadly died this past summer at a very young age. And this is his legacy on film, which is kind of exciting to have been able to capture his life on film. So there's a very concrete example of what he was doing with his life. The film, like I said, is 90 minutes long, and I kind of feel like it doesn't need to be quite that long. Part of this is, of course, because I'm a very jaded person and I've seen a lot of films and a lot of fetish photography, so part of that is definitely me. But the story arc is a little bit all over the place, and although there are definitely some really interesting threads to the film, I feel like it's still a sort of peculiar portrait, and I'm not really sure who the film is for. On one hand, it does show very advanced and intricate BDSM play, some of which is explained. So it seems like it's made for the community it was made of, which is the fetish and BDSM community. But on the other hand, there's a lot of really basic stuff about it, so it seems like it might be a film that's made for people who are unfamiliar with BDSM. Basically, it shows the process, the behind-the-scenes process of a lot of his photo shoots, which to me is definitely an interesting thing. I think behind the scenes is definitely one of the most interesting parts of making fetish and erotic imagery. But to make that into a feature seems a little bit of overkill. The photography itself is really, really gorgeous, and the basic story, although it's kind of drawn out, is really, really amazing and incredible. Basically, he got involved taking photographs of the BDSM scene, and then within his first year of doing that, became much more interested in the lifestyle and became an insider. So he went from being an outsider looking into this culture to being very much an insider who was looking out at the rest of culture and photographing his own scene, which I think makes for much more powerful imagery. One of the things that I found kind of strange was the fact that the vast majority of the people showed in the film that he was photographing were conventionally attractive, usually female. And this is sort of a complex thing, because on one hand that of course makes the images, you know, traditionally sexy and palatable, but on the other hand, I think it's not a really true representation of the scope of the fetish and BDSM world. So there's sort of two levels of documenting and two levels of showing what might be possible in fetish photography. There's the level of Noel himself doing the photographing, and then there's the film crew photographing him and filming him. So there are sort of two different levels of choices about what's being shown. So I'm not really sure who chose to only show the majority of sort of slim, conventionally attractive people, whether it was the photographer himself or the director, but it's kind of an interesting aspect of the film. But overall, I think it's interesting to see the sort of psychological play that goes into becoming a photographer of the scene and the challenges that it's met with. An interesting aspect.